Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our latest webcast. We're bringing you from Travel Weekly as part of our Roadmap to Recovery series. And I am delighted to be joined today by the President and Chief Executive of Norwegian Cruise Line, Harry Sommer, and the Vice President and Managing Director for Europe, the Middle East and Africa, Eamonn Ferrin. How are you both, gentlemen?
Lucy, doing great. I love Roadmap to Recovery. I love that.
I know.
Thrilled to be here.
We're still in that phase. I will drop that eventually, but at the moment, I think it still applies. Well, listen, it's been a tough year, but actually today you're joining me to talk about something very positive, very exciting, because today you are going to be announcing a new class of ship. It's your Premier class, first new class for a while. So tell us a little bit about what we can expect, Harry.
Sure. Thank you, Lucy. So it's been about 10 years since we launched a new class of ship. You know, we launched the Breakaway class back in like 2012, 13, and it was amazingly successful. It's been the most successful class of ship in the history of the company. We wound up doing 6 of them altogether, and our guests are thrilled. And really, the Prima classes, as we're calling this next class of ship, is a continued evolution of that. But we got to start a design with a clean sheet of paper. So this is genuinely a new class of ship with a tremendous number of innovations, but we believe will be a fantastic experience for our guests because, after all, that's where it starts and ends, around what the guest experience is going to be. You know, the 4 key pillars, and I'll just go through this real quickly, and then I want to give Eamonn a chance to talk about this a little bit too. I know he's also super excited. You know, it starts with space. You know, this is a ship that's only slightly smaller than a breakaway and getaway class ship. It holds 3,200 guests, which are much fewer guests. We were holding 4,000 or more on some of our latest ships. And with fewer guests and almost the same amount of space, we're really able to provide our guests with more wide open spaces, more experiences, more places just to be and have a wonderful vacation. You know, part of what we've done is we've done some thoughtful innovation by moving the engines from the back of the ship to the middle of the ship. It's allowed us to open up the back of the ship to do a few wonderful things. You know, one of them is we've stood up something called Ocean Boulevard, which extends throughout Deck 8, where we're going to have public spaces outdoors, almost as much public spaces as we have on the top pool deck. And part of this is we're going to have things like sculpture gardens, 2 infinity pools. You can see one of them in my background. They're going to be absolutely fantastic. And a new concept called the Indulge Food Hall, where we're going to have, just in one area of the ship, 11 different dining options for our guests, anything from Indian and rotisserie chicken to salad bar and dessert bars and everything in between that you can imagine, plus 3 of our mainstay restaurants, you know, Anda, our Italian restaurant that we partner with, Scarpetta, Las Lobos, our Mexican restaurant, and the Local, which is our casual sort of, you know, British style food, you know, fish and chips and things like that. So 14 dining concepts just in the back of Deck 8. And we're not announcing yet the dining concepts outside of that. You can imagine this is going to give our guests, you know, just huge options to experience the ship. So, you know, we have this space concept, thoughtful design. The ship is going to be beautiful. Our group CEO, Frank Del Rio, is known for designing beautiful ships for Oceania region. And he has that same palette where we're going to spend over $1 million on sculptures just on Deck 8. Let alone the rest of the ship. It's going to be spectacular, like visiting a really nice art museum. We went with we partnered with PETA, which is an up and coming artist in Italy, to do the whole design, and you can see that on Eamonn's screen. It's going to be, that doesn't do it justice. You see it up front. It's absolutely spectacular. So, you know, between the spaces, the thoughtful design, the experiences that I've talked to, and just outstanding service. Those are going to be the 4 things that characterize the new Prima and Prima class of ships.
Someone's got a dog.
That's my dog. That's
so you know
dog. I'm still working. You know I'm still working from home. That's my puppy.
Oh, well, that's cute. Well, we might have to meet him. That would be cute. All right. So the other thing you've said, actually, Eamonn, is it's got the most extensive accommodations of any new build. So I don't know whether you can just talk to us a little bit about that as well.
Go ahead, Eamonn. Why don't you take that one?
Sure. I mean, as Harry mentioned, I think it's really about space. So obviously with fewer guests, on board. It allowed us to relook at all of the accommodation on board as well. So in fact, we've got in the region of 36% more space per guest compared to our comp set. So, Prima is a great name because it obviously in Italian means first. And we really upgraded all of our accommodation throughout the ship. So you have more space in cabin space. The bathrooms have been extended by over 11%, which gives you a lot more, as well as obviously the new look and design and feel, much more space to move around. We've completely revamped the haven concept, our ship within a ship concept. And it's at the aft of the ship and looking outwards and at the wake of the ship in terms of and facing outwards. So you get all those wonderful views. The whole thing has been looked at from start to finish, as Harry mentioned, and we believe it's going to be the best product out there, and hugely entertained by our guests. There's so many firsts. Again, Prima meaning first, the most spacious suites of any cruise new ship, and a largest ever inside ocean view and balcony cabins. The highest staffing levels per new cruise ship. Harry mentioned the food hall, our first our glass bridges, ocean walk, which will be new, and a range of other things that we're adding to the ship, which we think will be completely innovative and really set us apart from the competition and in the premium class.
Okay, I want to come back and talk about. Sorry, Harry, go on.
Yeah, listen, just to talk a little bit more about Haven. I know your listeners are familiar with Haven, but we really take it to a new level on Prima. The Haven is actually now on 7 different decks of the ship. From deck 10 up through 17, we have 6 decks. I'm sorry, 8 different decks, 8 decks. We have 6 decks of passenger cabins and 2 decks of public spaces. It's absolutely spectacular. 107 different suites, by far our largest Haven in the fleet.
Okay, and that's interesting then. And is that to meet customer demand because you're getting more people in, wanting to sail with you for all the facilities, but wanting that sort of luxury ship within a ship, as you call it?
Lucy, you said it as good as I can, so I'll let your statement stand. Huge demand for this, and we wish we could expand the Haven on the rest of our fleet as well. Get guests book the ship from the top down. They love the ability, as you said, to experience the wonderful amenities and experiences we have on throughout our entire fleet in terms of shows and entertainment and activities. Yet have this place where they can go to at the end of the day to sort of a retreat, if you will. To sort of have this wonderful high level of service, butler service, concierge service, private restaurants, lounges, pools, the whole 9 yards. Okay.
And just picking up before we move on the whole, this outdoor space, this increased space, was that your plan anyway? Or, I just don't know what, the timescale is for designing a ship, but obviously at the moment, having had COVID, everyone's looking for a little bit more space and not being cramped in and all the rest of it. So how much has that influenced, the end product, or was it always in your plan?
Lucy, I'd love to say that we had such foresight, but we had not. This ship was designed pretty much from that perspective, 2 or 3 years ago, in terms of, steel and spaces and things like that. I think it just reinforces the decision. This thing with COVID, hopefully short-lived, as bad as it was. We won't be talking about it in a few years, but this concept of being able to go on a ship and experience outdoors is something that we started with our Breakaway and Breakaway Plus ships, and we've just extended now with Prima. So for us, independent of any, short-lived pandemic, we believe that this is the future of ship design, that people don't go on ships to be indoors, people go on ships to be outdoors.
Well, that depends on the weather, Harry.
I'm sorry?
Depends on the weather. So perhaps we should, that should lead us on nicely to talk about where this first Premier, Norwegian Premier is going to be sailing, because she comes into service next summer, I believe. That's right. So give us an idea, Eamonn, of the itineraries that we've got to look forward to.
Yeah, well, we're really, really excited about it. Obviously, the first sailing, there'll be a number of inaugurals initially, because we want to showcase the ship to as many of our travel agent partners and others as possible. But once it finishes that, it'll start off doing cruises in Northern Europe from Amsterdam, and it'll then move through a series of other itineraries, which we're very, very pleased to get into. We want to showcase the ship to as many people as possible, so it'll be in Miami. It'll focus on a 7-day Western itinerary. cruises from Harvest Key, our private island in Belize, and Cozumel in Mexico and so forth. Through Miami, it'll then go to Port Canaveral, where it'll be home-based from December 22 to March 23, offering 5, 7, and 9-day itineraries in Western Caribbean. It'll then go to New York to feature some Bermuda cruises. And as you can see, the rollout here very much is based on you showcasing the ship to as many of our core markets as possible. And then from there, it will go on to do a transatlantic voyage. The Primo will sail 11-day transatlantic to New York City, from New York City to Reykjavik. And then from then in 23 summer, it'll be doing 10 and 11 night itineraries, which we're really pleased with, from Reykjavik, Open Jaw to Southampton and back again. So we're super excited by the opportunity to showcase the ship.
Eamonn, did you just say that Southampton's going to be our home port in the summer of 23?
I did. Wow, I think I did say fantastic. That. I think I did say that. And what a beautiful ship she'll be, Harry. So yeah, we're super excited about that.
So how long will she be in Southampton then? She'll be going back and forth to Reykjavik basically, but for the
all summer long.
All summer long for 23. Well, that is exciting.
As I'm sure you know, Lucy, we're working with the Port of Southampton to build a new pier. So if everything goes well, we'll be able to showcase a brand new ship and a brand new pier and give our guests from the UK and the rest of the world a wonderful experience in and out of Southampton.
But will your UK agents get to see her on some of the inaugurals before summer 2023? You'll bring her here en route to Amsterdam or whatever, will you?
Absolutely. It'll be one of the first places we go to is to Southampton to invite all of our best travel agency partners on board. I think Eamonn's going to have like 1,500 people that he can invite. So
as possible.
He's looking forward to it.
Eamonn loves a party. I don't have any worries about him in that.
And Lucy, we expect you to be there.
I will be. Of course I will be there. So in terms of for 22, though, I know you're going to lots of different places, but you'll be wanting agents not just to sell the ex-Southampton cruises in 23. What will what will be most popular with British guests, Eamonn, for the first season?
Well, I think, as you know, Lucy, it very much depends on what season you're in. So obviously the Caribbean in the winter time is very popular with Brits. But obviously that changes somewhat as you move into the summer season when Europe is the top sailing, as you know. For us, we have most of our ships based in Europe. So Europe is a key market in the summer, but of course in the winter time, the combination of what I said, the Bermuda trips from New York, the Caribbean product is what we think the Brits will love to try out.
Okay, all right.
Lucy, you joked a little bit before about wanting outdoor space when the weather is good, and I think we're going to places that are going to have good weather. Going out of Port Canaveral in the summer and New York to Bermuda in the spring, and going between Southampton and Reykjavik via Norway in the summer are really beautiful places. I mean, can you imagine getting to experience the beautiful scenery of both Iceland and the Norway and the Norwegian fjords, from outside of the ship? It's going to be absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
In that infinity pool. Lucy, we can't wait to welcome you in the infinity pool.
I know, that looks so good. Now, I know you're not announcing everything about it today because I'm sure you're going to drip feed some of the announcements, but obviously something that NCL is really known for is your entertainment. So can we expect more of the same, better than before? What have you got lined up for this ship?
We as you mentioned, we're really not announcing it yet, but it's interesting. On Monday, we just got to take a look at what the entertainment concept's going to be, and I got to tell you, Lucy, I was blown away. So I can't tell you what it is. I can only tell you that it's spectacular.
Okay, well, I've not got very far there, have I? But all right, so we've got something really good to look forward to. So that's fantastic. And then obviously, so you've mentioned the sculptures, you've mentioned this ocean walk. Obviously, we can see the infinity pool, which does look amazing. Actually, I mean, that does look incredible. And that's a kind of a cruise first, is it?
It's a cruise first for us, I hope.
Okay, so any other sort of features that you want to highlight for agents who might be wanting to sell this ship?
Well, I think a lot is on the service. I mean, Harry mentioned it's not only that we have fewer guests, so 3,200 or so on the ship. It's also the staff ratio. So we'll have over 1,300 staff servicing those clients. So we really not only investing in the hardware, if you like, and the infrastructure of the ship, but we also believe that service is a key aspect that stand out. And that's 2 and a bit customers per staff member. So yeah, we are investing both in the actual quality of the product, but also we give people. And I think it's the optionality, if you like, of so many different places to eat, drink, to which we're very keen on. So I think that's worth noting, because ultimately, people buy a cruise vacation for the whole experience, not just the look and feel of the ship, but the service levels they have, and we think they'll be second to none.
Okay, and remind us how many ships are going to be in this class and how thick and fast they're going to be coming.
Oh, we got 6 ships in the Prima class altogether, basically coming one a year. A little different time every year. So we'll be talking about the second Prima in a few months from now. It won't be long. We'll be launching her later this year. So they just come like children, one after another.
Which is so exciting, because obviously everyone has been paused for so long now, which has been so horrible for the whole cruise industry. But we do know that you're going to be resuming service in July to the Greek islands, and then in the Caribbean, which is very exciting. And you chose not to do any round UK sailings, which a lot of cruise lines did. Why did you decide that, and why are you focusing on the Greek islands?
The round UK became really crowded really quickly. And it was never part of what we did as a brand anyway. We never operated round trip Southampton or from any port for that matter from UK in the past. And we want to stick with what we're known for. For us, we typically have about half our fleet in Europe in the summer. And our most popular itinerary in Europe has been Greek Isles. We normally have 3 ships, one out of Rome, one out of Venice, and one out of Athens, Piraeus, doing Greek Isle cruises in the summer. And we go, okay, if that's our most popular itinerary, that's where we should start. And I got to tell you, the demand's been off the roof. The first couple of sailings are already sold out. The rest of the season is going really, really quickly. So we think we made the right decision. And I think, we've now announced, Lucy, 5 ships, the 3 you mentioned, the one from Athens, the one from Montego Bay, the one from Punta Cana. And now, the next 2 is our getaway from Rome and the Epic from Barcelona. The getaway from Rome also is, visits Greek Isle for the majority of the cruise. So we've seen, although it's only been on sale now for a couple of weeks, we've seen huge demand on that ship as well. And the Epic always does well. I mean, the Epic's been in Barcelona for years, and she always sells out. So we're really, I'll be honest, a little secret here for your listeners. Our European ships are actually selling better than our Caribbean ships. So, clearly there is pent-up demand. I think Eamonn referenced this before for high-end vacations for our guests. They want to go, and they want to go someplace special. They don't just want to, drive 10 miles and leave from home. They want to go and have an experience, especially after the hardships of 2020.
Yeah, and Eamonn, is that, what Harry's talking about, this pent-up demand and it's booking well, is that, is that UK guests as well? And obviously things are a little bit up in the air, but is it UK guests as well?
Yeah, no, we've seen phenomenal volume for 23, for 22 in particular. And to Harry's point, what we're actually also seeing is people buying from the top of the ship down. So people are spending more, they're going on longer itineraries. 10 and 11 nights is proving very, very popular at the minute. So maybe people are buying up to that, and they are buying into the suites and the Haven product more than ever before. So the UK, we've been very, very pleased with the forward business. And as obviously in terms of 21, Harry referred to it, we're very keen at all of these ships, whether it's the Epic out of Barcelona, the Getaway of Rome, or indeed the Jade out of Athens. All of them will be very, very, and are very, very popular. I guess the only query that many people are sitting on for 21 as Brits is, what is the government going to say about the green, amber and red territories, hopefully announced tomorrow. And some people are sitting waiting to see what the government come out to say, because that does somewhat influence their decision for short-term cruising. But, we're hopeful that will be a positive announcement, and wait to see what that is.
Okay, all right. I know you're very short of time, but just quickly, you also recently announced your financial results, Harry. I mean, obviously, all cruise lines have made losses. That's understandable. I know you've taken some steps, some actions to enhance your liquidity. I mean, future proofing the business, I hope. But I mean, are you in good shape, or are it still very difficult times for you?
No, we're in very good shape. I mean, as we announced in our financials, we have like $3 billion of liquidity, which is more than enough to weather any of these storms. Obviously, as I mentioned before, I mean, this last year has been tragic on many fronts. Not being able to cruise absolutely took its toll on our financials, but the future looks really bright. I mean, we now have a concrete plan. We've announced 5 of our 17 ships. We hope to make progress with the CDC so we can announce some US-based ships in the very near future as well. And before you know it, I mean, half the fleet will be in operation by sometime in Q3, and before you know, we'll have all our ships operating. So I think with the demand that we're seeing for 2022 so far, booked so far ahead of where we were in any prior comp, whether you're looking at 18 for 2019 sailings or 2019 for 2020 sailings, any comp that we want to use, 2022 is off the charts. And I take only, Eamonn and I only take limited credit for this. This is based on pent-up demand. You know, tens of millions of people cruise every year. Those people weren't able to cruise in 2020, and they now want to come back, and we love to welcome them back on NCL.
Okay, all right. Well, we can't wait to see all your ships back in service. It's been a long time coming, but we're so looking forward to that. We wish you all the luck, and we're particularly excited about the Premier class. So thank you for coming on and telling us about that today. Tell us more about it very soon. And yes, I will absolutely accept your invitation to come to that inaugural.
We look forward to seeing you there.
All right, guys. Thanks very much indeed. Speak to you soon.
Thanks, Lucy.
Thanks,
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.